Hey, what's up, good people? It's your boy James Harris. Of course, Mental Health. Mental Health is a movement that I founded to get men back focused on the overall wellness, that mental health, physical health, and of course, that emotional health. I'm also the author of a book called Man Just Express Yourself, which is an interactive planner guide for boys and men to better express themselves. I definitely appreciate everybody who went out and got them a copy. If you want to get a copy, be sure to go to Amazon, Barnes& Nobles, Target, Walmart, pretty much anywhere books are sold, including my website. While you're on my website, be sure to grab a copy of my board game, Cheesy Dates. Yes, I created a board game. Good interactive tool for adult game nights, couples, date nights. So many benefits to this game. 2 different card decks, some pawn pieces, all that above. So definitely get that for your next event. So today we're going to talk about tax deductions for clinicians. This is near and dear to me. It's April, so of course we got to get that going. All right, so of course, if you're self-employed, within private practice, handling your own taxes may be a scary thing. So make sure you got an accountant or somebody to do your taxes and or get familiar with QuickBooks and of course your laws dealing with your state. Since you're taxed based on your gross manage the cost of running the business, you want to make sure that you got everything aligned. So keep track of all your expenses. But be advised, I'm not a tax advisor or financial advisor. Do what's best for you, and of course, follow the research based on your state. I definitely do what I have to do as far as paying my stuff quarterly. Sometimes you can do it annually, depending on the how much you make, and of course, depending on your state, of course. So I do have different business ventures, but when it comes to my practice specifically, that's what I'll be talking about. So you can get assistance. Of course, as an entrepreneur, it's definitely helpful. So many different tips and tools out there to assist you in getting the ball rolling. So, of course, being that you own a private practice, you want to make sure that your record keeping is definitely phenomenal. So keep track of all your expenses. I'll be giving you tips on different things that you can write off. Be sure to keep up track with your tax deductions, your business, your receipts. For at least 3 to 5 years, even after you file them, just in case they come back and try to audit you, you'll have all those things. I keep all my records anyway, but I think 3 to 5 years, if you don't want to have that clutter, that's a reasonable amount of time. So you'll definitely need to report different things and deductions on your Schedule C or the profits and loss statement. So just be advised of that. Schedule C is what that form is called. So we're going to get into some of the things that you can deduct in your private practice as a clinician. So one of the major things that you can deduct is your startup costs or your expenses. So when you enter in, private practice or the therapy setting, you want to hit the ground running. So you definitely going to incur some debt at this process. So your startup cost is definitely important. So whether you took a loan or whether you self-financing. So these include different strategies, research changing your business cards, loan costs, technology fees, you buying laptops, you doing internet, phones, and all those things. And of course, advertising and promotion. All of this labor is definitely going into startup costs. You're able to write that thing off in most cases. So again, check with your state. So most of this type definitely happen. If you start within that year, you probably have a year to file as well. So make sure you're creating your LLC so you can run everything through that actual business and not your personal information, So you'll have that window again within a year. So be sure to check with an accountant if you don't know how to set that up, or somebody who do taxes. You want to make sure it's set up correctly, because you have to decide on if you even want to do just a sole proprietor, regular S corp, or just LLC. It's so many different variations. So just make sure that you're hiring a professional. Something else that you can write off as a clinician is your legal and professional fees. This is a big one. So like I just said, you might want to hire somebody to do your taxes and or a lawyer to review your paperwork. So as a private practice therapist, of course, legal and professional fees definitely come over time. You create templates, you create documents, you got a lawyer on standby in case an audit come or you got to go to court or whatever the case is. So it's definitely have that retainer fund to be itemized as an expense. This definitely can also include, again, your accounting, your bookkeeping, your tax person, different business consultants. If you hire somebody else to, for an hour or so to assist you with building your practice, that you can write that off as well. The cost can only be deducted if it's related to your business, though. So make sure you understand that. So if you're an employer attorney to assist you in drafting paperwork, whether it's policies, procedures, creating business entities, you can write that off. Even if these fees are related to accounting advice, just holler at your accountant, man, to see if they will agree on some of the things that you can write off. Hire somebody as a consultant is definitely a benefit to growing your practice. And like if you hired somebody to do your credentialing or your insurance panels and stuff like that, that's a write-off deduction as well. So moving forward, something else that you can write off is, of course, your bank, your credit card, and your processing fees if you got a third party. Like some of the systems now have built-in ways to collect funds from the client if they do self-pay, like Ivy Pay and or Square or QuickBooks or a couple other ones. So just make sure that you're able to, I'm telling you that you can write off those processing fees that you incur. You can get reimbursed for all those different credit card, bank fees of your business throughout that year that you had those fees come out. So you can deduct all your credit card fees, your bank fees, which is a good thing because over time those fees add up. It might seem like a small percentage as they're coming out, but over time those things add up. So at the top of the year, just make sure that you include these things in your itemizations, whether those things be annual service fees or transfer fees or even overdraft fees. It might be a good idea to separate your bank accounts and your credit cards specifically for managing your business. So if you got a personal account, keep that separate from your business account just so you wouldn't have no overlap and just so you'll know specifically the expenses and incoming and outgoing things specifically for your business. It's a good thing to be organized, even if you do have different accounts, and to make it much easier for when you file and or if you give it to somebody else to file for you. So moving on, another thing that you can write off is those office supplies. So if you spend a lot of money on office supplies, whether it's staplers, pencils, printing, paper, of course, that adds up. If you got to print documentation, if you haven't moved forward to online platforms, you can also write off a computer or a tablet if you bought a laptop or something or a tablet to make it simplified to do your notes or have your sessions via Zoom. So these things are tax deductible. Any office costs and supplies that you may use to keep your business and workplace running can be written off. So if it is posters or different things from the state, different trainings, you can write those things off as well since you printed them out. Not to mention, you can also deduct shipping costs and postage stamps from like if you have to ship your client some information and or ship some stuff to Department of Social Services or another clinician. All of those things can be written off. Another thing that you can write off that a lot of clinicians tend to overlook are those continuing education fees. Yes, going to conferences and being a part of organizations are expensive. So as a private practice clinician, it's up to you and in your best interest to always keep up with the current and information as far as knowledge to make sure that you are improving your skills. So of course you got to get continuing education yearly to make sure that we keep our license. So any classes, workshop, conferences, any other things related to the industry, continuing education is a expense that you can deduct. These expenses can be deducted as long as they were related to your profession. So if you are a therapist and you are taking a EMDR or a internal family, all of those things can be deducted because those are enhancing your career. Even if you are a sex therapist and you go to a conference based on increasing your knowledge on that, you can deduct that as well. So make sure that you understand that. Even if you got subscriptions or different periodical literature research in your industry, different courses and catalogs, like all of those things you might want to keep because you can write those off as well. When it comes to your actual physical location, your office rent, of course, that's deducted, even if you are renting the office 1 day a week or you're subleasing for a year. Those things are deducted. If you're running a private practice, make sure that that you can rent it out your home, but it's specific criteria in which you are able to deduct a portion of your home or your home office from. So some of those things that you definitely can deduct if you have a physical office location is your rent, your utilities, water, electric, internet cable. Those things are definitely write-off. So if your business is in your home, check with your accountant, your county and your state to ensure that you're able to write those things off, because again, it's based on a percentage or the square foot of your actual home office. I'm in Virginia. I forgot the square footage based on that, but my home itself on the actual blueprints is a built-in office. So, if I wanted to do that from my home, I'll just go back to my draft of when I had my house and just look at that office square footage and I'll be good potentially. But again, just make it easy on yourself and try to identify what it is for your particular geographical location. Something else that you can write off is, of course, like I spoke of earlier, those membership fees for professional organizations. So any organization, like, if you're being a member of an organization or a business group, a learning society that's relevant to your career to invest in it, you can write off that annual subscription. And I encourage you to do so. So I'm a part of American Council Association, Virginia Council Association, Richmond Area Council Association, all of those things. And of course, somebody out there might be connected to APA or the LCSW one. There's so many different organizations out there that you might be connected to. But yes, you can write off those yearly fees for that. And or if you go to conferences student, you can write that off as a deduction as well. And another benefit to being in your own private practice is the ability to write off your travel expenses. So if you have to travel outside of your residence, the city of your current office, for at least a minimum of like 24 hours, and you got to pay for meals, lodging, entertainment, business calls, parking tolls, what else? Transportation, like those things can count towards your deductions. 50% of your meal costs when traveling can count. Your baggage charges, air, like rail, if you're taking a train, bus transportation, those bus fare, all those things can be deducted. Even if you get a hotel or Airbnb, those expenses can be deducted as well. Full deductions for expense operating and maintaining your car include the cost of gas, oil, repairs, parts, tires, supplies, parking fees, and tolls. So it's some gray area there. So definitely, again, look to see what your state allows you to do. But if you do drive to and from your office in some locations, you're able to deduct your vehicle as a itemization item because it's for your business. And or if you're doing stuff outside of normal work hours for your business. Another one that you're able to deduct in some places is your business meals. So mental health therapists may qualify for a meal tax deduction. Again, check your area, but some areas, some people actually do it, and it's phenomenal because sometimes you work different hours or work late, you grabbing fast food and or getting food catered for you, your office style, and all that. So it's good to be able to write those things off. For any meal purchase in a connection with your business, whether it's lunch with a client or another consultant, you're able to write those things off. Typically, you can deduct 50% of the cost of those business meals. But President Biden is allowing 100% meal deduction in 2021, I want to say. And it did carry over to 2022. So now that we're in 2023, we'll have to check, upcoming. But as far as 21 and 22, I know for sure that you can deduct 100% of your business meals. Another thing that you're able to deduct as a clinician is, of course, your cell phone use. So some people have two different phones, a personal phone, a business phone, and or they have a fax number or a Google number or something like that. So if you did have another additional phone, just be sure to know that you are able to deduct that. So chances are you're using your cell phone to conduct business and or personal use. So unless you have a separate business line, you definitely can write it off. If you don't have it, you can't write it off. So it's up to you if you want to incur that additional monthly expense. But there's some other platforms out there that would allow you to just get a number and attach it to your current phone. So it's up to you. Just figure out the percentage of use from your personal and your business phone if it is just one phone. And that way you'll be able to write off at least a portion of it. Moving on though, something else that you're able to write off is, of course, your insurance. So if you have to purchase insurance for your services, whether that's medical insurance, malpractice insurance, and of course the insurance for your office, your building that you're leasing or renting, you can write that insurance deduction off as well. Another thing too that a lot of people don't know that you can write off is your advertisement expense. Because marketing is a part of you growing your practice. So if you're purchasing Google ads or flyers or print media or radio ads, airtime, broadcasting, that is deductible. You definitely can write off the money that you spend on advertisement. Of course, Facebook, social media, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, and all of those things, you can run ads. You can pay to run ads on. So those are deductible. Make sure that you understand that. So hopefully, this finds you or a friend in a position that you share office with. Y'all can, share this because they might need this information. Remember to consult with your attorney and your accountant, since I'm neither one of those things and I'm probably in a different state than you are, just based on realistic views. So do what's best for you. I'm just telling you what I do, what I have done. Even in my different business entities, I was able to deduct and itemize so much different things. One of my personal favorite things to say is saving money is just as good as making money. So make sure you're saving money. And the best way to do that is to get the money back that the government is going to take from you anyway. So make sure that you're in a position to save as much as you can and you got the knowledge to do so. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Hit me up, www.mentoheal.com, www.mentoheal.com. I'll catch you on the next one.